Secret Service Sam, the podcast. It's Secret Service Sam, the podcast. It's not so secret because you're here. Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys. I have one of the most exclusive exclusives that I've ever done in my entire career because, as you know, I was inside the courtroom, the Diddy drama courtroom in the Diddy Dome every single day, folks, for you, by you, independent journalism at its best. And one privilege we got is the address to the locations where things allegedly took place. I am here at Kid Cudi's former home, we believe. I don't think he's still here, where the alleged arson, okay, to his Porsche took place and the alleged kidnapping, which, if you look right here where those trash cans are, that is where the SUV was parked, okay? Oh, shnikes. I got to make sure I'm not doxing nothing. Did I dox anything? Okay, I got to make sure. Anyway, Patriots. So this is crazy. Like I said, I'm sitting here where Capricorn Clark was allegedly kidnapped, and I have a wonderful creator on with me today, a good friend of mine who I met recently. I want to bring him on now to get this show started. Patriots, please welcome Mr. AT2. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Thank you for having me, Sam. I appreciate it. This is
Dude,
crazy. The actual
anytime.
location.
Dude, let me
Woo.
hold on. Let me put you up in the little bubular here so people can kind of see where we're at. But man, this is pretty exciting, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna cover up. Okay, where are we going? I'm gonna cover up. Oh shoot, we're trying to do our best here, guys. Anyhow, I don't think AT2, good to see you. Do you think Kid Cudi still lives here, first off?
I don't think he still lives there. I mean, just think about it. For safety, I would not still live at that address.
Right, right. And this was, we were saying, I think this incident. Now, I was going over. I have my courtroom notes here, and what I have written. I believe December 22nd, 2011. This is Capricorn Clark is on the stand. Her testimony. Puff came to my apartment around 5:30 to 6 a.m. Loud banging at my door. Metal on metal. Puff was pacing, furious, had something in his hand. She thought it was a hammer. She opens the door. He said, "Let's just get to this. What is it?" And she said, "What is it?" She said he had a pune pune. He entered holding the pune pune, and Puff says, allegedly, "Why didn't you tell me?" And she said, "I don't know what you're talking about. Who's Scott?" Now, for people who don't know, Kid Cudi's name is Scott McCurdy, I believe.
Yes.
That's like the whitest suburb name ever, by the way. Scott McCurdy, like in Irish. He
You kind
said,
of look like a Scott.
I look like Scott McCurdy more than Kid Cudi looks like Scott McCurdy. We can probably agree on that. So she said, he said, "Who's Scott?" Kid Cudi, Cassie's friend. Diddy said, "Get dressed. We're going to go unalive this N word." OMG. Like, can you imagine? So we're sitting in there, Capricorn Clark is delivering. This is testimony, guys. These are my notes from the courtroom. I mean, so intense. Um, I don't want to go, she said. I don't give a F what you want to do. He was livid, furious, mad at me. I had never seen anything like this before. Never came to my house with a pune pune. She's crying, by the way, I have written. Ruben was there, Cadillac Escalade. They drove. Sean gets in. The Pune Pune is in his lap. Went to Kid Cudi's house in the Hollywood Hills. That's where I am right now. Okay. This is crazy. Like I said, AT2, where these trash cans are, and I'll get to my testimony on that. Let's see. Can you guys see it? It's over here.
Okay, there
Is
we go.
where this SUV was parked, which is kind of crazy. I'm gonna switch back around here, guys.
Right.
So we're um,
It's right next to where the door is. Literally, they're waiting for him to come out. Basically, right?
exactly, yeah. And then the weird thing is, there's a courtyard right behind me, which the funny thing inside the courtroom, they never figured out how they got in. They're like, the door was locked. They're like, Cuddy's not going to leave his front door unlocked. But I think, as you can see this wall here, anybody with a little bit of athleticism could, and I'll show you guys, anybody, with a little bit of vert, you know what I mean, that maybe played a little college, a little high
Yeah.
school ball even, could probably scale this fence. Like, I could even get over it if I needed to. I could get over it right here.
How high would you say it is?
How high would I say it is? Well, let's see. Let's give you an idea. I mean, let me do this. This is crazy. Oh, somebody coming out? Oh, no. Okay, we're good. Can you see the wall?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's about.
Okay,
Oh
I
yeah,
look like
easily.
okay, guys. I don't want to look like I'm Sakar's coming. I just look like
Right.
doing a live feed. Oh my god! If you could have seen the
Secret
look
Service
I just
Sam gets
got,
arrested for trespassing. That would be
dude.
the.
That needs to be my thumbnail of the video
Yeah.
of me like hanging on to the house. This is so fun. Um, just making sure nobody's coming. So I'm going to continue with the notes here. Um, went to Kid Cudi's house in the Hollywood Hills. Did not know if he was home. She stayed in the car. They entered the house. This is her testimony. I probably could have left, but I didn't. They gained access, like I was just showing you, basically. And here's something I think, because a lot of people were like, you know, you were kidnapped, Capricorn Clark. You're sitting in the car up here, right? Above from me. They're here. Why didn't you run? Now, to let people know, we're in the Hollywood Hills, guys. There really is nowhere to run. There's nowhere to run. And I was thinking about myself. If I was dealing with somebody who had a pune, I'm gonna probably be too scared to like say, "Go, Sam, get out of the car and run." I mean, what would you do, AT2?
Right. There really is no choice. If he has bodyguards with him and they all have weapons, he has a
Right,
weapon. What are you going to do? That's a woman at the end of the
right,
day. And then even just not that, just as a human being, if it's one against three, I believe it was three of them,
right,
what are you going to do? You
right.
really don't have any choice.
Right. And you're going to see him at the MTV Music Awards in like a week. So it's like, how are you going to get away from Puff? You know what I mean? It's like, because
Right.
even if she ran, that would mean you can never go back. And that's a choice you'd have to make in that moment. And
Hmm.
I imagine she's like, look, he's just really mad because he's hyper jealous. We found that out. Diddy gets hyper jealous. Um, so they gained access. She called Cassie on her burner phone. This was interesting. Cassie, what the F? Where are you at? Puff has a pune. I'm at Cuddy's house. They're here to unalive him. And then Cuddy can be heard over the phone saying, "He's in my house." Cassie, stop him. He's gonna get himself unalive. Stop him, because Kid Cuddy is like, "He's in my house. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up, son." He was pulling. He was in pull up mode, folks. But you don't want to pull up on the diddler and his bodyguards.
Yeah.
Um, Puff said, "Who were you talking to?" Puff came out, asked for the phone, called back Cassie. Puff said, "B word, what the F is this number?" He was livid because he was also finding out that Cassie had a burner phone that Capricorn Clark had gotten her. So she
Right.
had a private line. He didn't know about it. He was livid. Somebody's pulling up on me. How you doing, sir? Have a wonderful day. That guy did not look. They did not look too excited that I was here. He was like, good. Was the white guy
Yeah.
good? What are you doing in my neighborhood? You don't belong here, Sam." Um, coming up, you could hear the engine coming up the hill is Cuddy up this hill, as I'll point down. Right down this hill. This is Cray Cray. Kid Cuddy
Hey,
came up the hill. Cassie, stop him. He's gonna get himself unalive. She said again. Or I'm sorry, no, that was earlier. Um, there's Engine coming up the hill. Cuddy, there's that N word right there. He took off, went up the hill, chasing him. Cuddy lost us. Okay, so here's the thing that what he's saying is when Kid Cudi came to confront Diddy, came up the hill, Cudi was like, "Oh snap!" Kept going. They got in the SUV and were chasing him, but Cudi lost him in the Porsche, I guess.
But Sam, can you explain, like, because people don't understand if they haven't been to the Hollywood Hills, how
Uh huh.
narrow the streets are and how it's
Yes.
really
Yes.
hard to like, do you think
Yeah.
that he possibly could have just sped off, like, because of the way the roads are in the Hollywood Hills?
I mean, I'll kind of, like you can see the hill behind, dude. It is not easy driving in these hills. You
It
can
is not.
freaking easily nail somebody too. Let me switch the view for people. It's very, hold on. It's very easy to nail somebody coming around a corner.
Right.
As you can see I'll open it up so you can see the street here. Um, I mean, so speeding up this hill, I mean, you can see this is a grade. This is like, oh, I shouldn't make that sign. I'm Jewish. Anyway, it's about a 45-degree angle. You know what I mean? Going up this way. Hi. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. He went past the police, going to his house. Cops calmed him down. Went to the Key Club, called Cassie. So this is Diddy. He said, called Cassie and said he's not gonna let me go till she comes over.
Mm.
I stayed in the vehicle. She said he has me and won't let me go until I come get you. Um, she said, okay, come get me. She was calm. You and Cassie need to convince Cuddy not to go to the police. Okay, so after this whole thing happened, and mind you, this is separate from the arson, right? Because this was the time when Diddy allegedly broke into his house and was like opening Christmas presents. Remember hearing that?
Right.
Um,
But I didn't know they convinced him not to go to the police. This is my first time hearing that part.
oh, okay. Yeah. He said, I will unalive all you mother effers. Picked up Cassie, went back to Cuddy's house, needed to make sure he wasn't going to make a police report. And this is something throughout the case of why Diddy got off, because there isn't a single police report on any the
Mhm.
balcony, the kidnapping, this event, like because everybody knew they didn't want to fill out a police report. I mean, even the Intercontinental Cassie, video. There's no police report. So that's
Right.
something. That's a theme in Diddy's playbook to get away with what you like, is by not getting the police report. So they went back to Cuddy's house, needed to make sure he wasn't going to fill out a police report. If you tell anyone, he'll hurt us all, is what they said, is what she said. Capricorn to Cassie and Cuddy. If you tell anyone, he'll hurt us all. So, um, Diddy was in his robe and underwear, started kicking her full force, Cassie, and kept kicking her. Each kick, she would crouch on into a fetal position outside of the courtyard. And what's crazy I'm just trying to figure out. I don't think that's what this was here. I think this was back when they picked her up, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure this
Mm.
out. Um, Outside of the courtyard and all the way to the street, 20 feet, she was crying. And he was kicking her in the back, 5 feet away. Capricorn said she was. If you jump in, I'll F you up too. Never seen him do that. In shock, never seen her hit like that. Called D Rock to come stop him. He was kicking the S out of Cassie. Called Paulie D too, Uncle Paulie. He's kicking her, help her. Ruben did nothing. So Ruben was there. I don't. I'm trying to figure out if this was when, they picked up Cassie and took her back, I believe, to Puff's place. I don't think that happened here because that wouldn't make much sense.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to make much. Unless she walked down the street and they're talking about the courtyard, like where the trash
Right.
cans are. Is that the
Yeah.
courtyard?
Yeah. I'm going to try and go in the shade a little bit if I can, kind of, let me see them. I mean, we've already kind of shown this location address, but whatever. I think we're okay, right?
Yeah.
I'm just getting a little shade for a second here. Um, Now, Diddy says, a matter of fact, get the F out of my house to Capricorn. As she left, he was still kicking Cassie. She called Regina Ventura, Capricorn. He's beating the S out of your daughter. I'm over my head. I can't call them. She's crying. I did not call the police. Um, the goal of the day was not to call the police. And I mean, that's freaking crazy just to say something like that, that the goal of the day is to not call the cops. I mean, that's just like,
Right.
that's
It,
everybody's first intuition.
and Sam, do we know how they were able to convince Kid Cudi of not telling the police?
I mean, I think it was just Capricorn Clark saying he'll hurt all of us.
Oh, okay.
She said that to both of them. If we go to the police and we do anything, he will hurt all of us. And you remember too. I mean, I'm trying. Let me read on if this is when she called Cassie Ventura's mom. The goal of the day was not to call the police. The room was destroyed. Her belongings everywhere. Email about Kid Cudi. He said it would not be. Oh, this to answer your question. And he told her, he said it would not be by his hand. He would be out of the country when it happened. Then the arson investigator called. She gave no comment. He said, I should have unalived you B words and cut her face, is what he said to Cassie. Puff said, not to be friends with Cassie, to Capricorn, told Harv Pierre, Puff kidnapped me. She told Harv Pierre that Puff kidnapped me with a pun pun and beat Cassie all in one day. She got 30-day notice for work. She was fired after that, accused for not getting authorization for a vacation. So that's what they ended up firing Capricorn Clark for. She lost her 401k, her house, car, everything. Puff, you will never work again. All these people weren't your friends. You'll want to unalive yourself, is what he told her, is what she testified. Could not get employment after job with Puff. October 2012 settlement. Cassie drug use increased. 2023 retain an attorney. Upset about Cassie's civil suit. April 2024 met with Diddy's lawyers. She wanted her life back. She told them they kidnapped me. Yeah, and then and I think that was about where I kind of left off, but this is now there's the cross examination I have. How are
Yeah.
we doing on time here, AT2? Sorry, I've been just
Oh,
talking too.
oh no, we're good. So I have a question. Did they ever get into how much Capricorn's settlement was? Because remember, she got a settlement for wrongful termination, right?
Yeah, let me see Capricorn what she got. I know this was funny in my book. I saw Gene Deal in the elevator. And I
Mm-hmm.
asked him, I said, because it was at the point in the case where I was like, what is folklore and what is real? Like we heard about freak offs with celebrities and underage people and the baby oil was spiked and all this stuff. And Gene was like, a lot of it's gonna be some truth, but some of it's folklore. And he said prosecution isn't trying to prove any of that. So it will stay folklore, I asked him. And he said, and I was just like, where are all the celeb freak offs? And he was like, yep. So what's interesting with Gene Deal is, how much do validate what he's said throughout the trial, do you think?
I think that, and this is the opinion of AT2. I
Yeah.
think that Gene Deal is a notorious conspiracy theorist, and I still stand on that, and I have always stood on that.
Right, right. Sorry, I'm gonna solo that. Yeah, I kind of like with Jaguar Wright. That was kind of what I saw in this trial was that, um, yeah, a lot of what they were talking about, just none of it turned up in this trial, at least. Um, let's see. I'm just looking at this is the cross with Mark Agnifilo. Um, this was like
Oh, and
Agnifilo.
also
Yeah, go
let's
ahead.
not forget that the dates were from 2008 till 2019, I believe.
Okay.
When did they break up? 2018, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm not
Gene
positive on that.
Deal was previous to that. So
Right. Yeah, I was just talking about Gene Deal when I bumped into him in the elevator, asking him his thoughts on the trial. Um, let's see, Agnifilo, birthplace of hip hop. He was asking Capricorn, so New York, it's like the birthplace of hip hop, like Run DMC, like, and she's like more like Method Man and Jay Z. Puff was a fashion icon tycoon, and she's like, you mean Sean Combs? And he's like, yes. By the way, I'm probably standing in a dangerous place. In this point, I have Miss Combs was wiping her face, visibly tired. You could feel the strain in her hands as she touches her face. Hard for a mom to sit through this, I had wrote. Um, uh, let's see. Diddy was on Broadway, Raisin in the Sun, when Capricorn Clark started. So that gives us kind of a timeline. She was like, I wasn't that
hmm.
impressed, but it was pretty cool. He's in Broadway. He's a star. She worked on the Vote or Die campaign. White parties were elaborate for Vote or Die. Jewelry incident was soon after. So this is something that was interesting, where this led to her second kidnapping, where for 5 days in a row they made her do a lie detector test because Puff's jewelry had you heard about this? Like she was holding on to it and somehow it just puff
Yeah.
disappeared. Um, Jewels were with her. Um, she doesn't know where they went. Anyone else take a lie detector test? Jewelry in her purse at the nail shop. She said she got her nails did. There's a car coming. She got her nails did. You got lie detector test 5 days, all day, 5 times. And as wide as you are. Oh, this is her. Paul brought you to 5 times wider than you are, man. So this was when Capricorn Clark got brought up. It was in New York into the new Bad Boy label building, but it had not been moved into yet. So it was just a open, just an empty building. And she was taken up the elevator, and she said she went into this big open room and there was just one table with this huge fat dude who they called 5 times wider than you, man, which was kind of funny. You don't know what relation he is to Diddy. You didn't speak to Diddy for 5 days. 10 to 6 p.m. She was hooked up to a lie detector test. Then they would review it, and she said you didn't call HR, Rasha. You never called her to say I'm locked in a building for 5 days straight. There's
Mm.
laughter in the courtroom at times. I wrote, you didn't have that convo. You worked another couple months after the lie detector test. Then you were fired. Um, Erica, I don't know what that is. Then she was fired, then unfired, got a call. Combs, I left because he pushed me out of his house in 2006. Made more money at. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read my notes. Um, got a car coming here too. Looks like a kidnapper van. No. So this is just this. This is interesting.
I was gonna say,
Um,
is that Diddy and his people coming after you?
when I was coming up here, I got a little worried. Um, but what's interesting, I have written she's drudging through her words. It was very painful. I remember. it was, like it was very, it's very sad to like, and then after
Yeah.
all this, that he gets off for a lot of this stuff. I imagine for all these victims, it's got to be so hard because you went through all that. Let me see what else I have in my notes.
And I was gonna say, you believe Capricorn's tears compared to Jane Doe's tears. I remember you told me, right?
Yeah. Jane Doe didn't really have any tears that I remembered. She talked very sexy, very sultry, quiet. Where Capricorn Clark was literally just sobbing through most of the testimony. I mean, it was really painful to see her have to go through it. Let me see. I'm just looking through more notes. Do you remember? She went to Zomba. Oh, the Central Park story. This is something a lot of people didn't know. Is like, she went to Zomba. He made phone calls. Easier for her to get the job. Do you remember? He said, "I have good contacts there. Let me refresh your memory." She pulls up text. Read to yourself for 5 lines. Yeah. The walk in Central Park, parked at Tavern on the Green. I'll get hit here. They parked at Tavern on the Green. I am causing a Diddy jam right here, if you will. Come on
Not a
through,
Diddy
everybody. Come on
jam.
through. It's a Diddy jam. Sorry, these folks must get the good word. So walk in Central Park, parked at Tavern on the Green, a very famous restaurant. Walked a little bit away under a tree to talk. Less than 20 blocks away from the Diddy office. Ran into Nas and Khalees in the park. That's kind of cool. Met with government over a dozen times. She said Lorianne Gibson. I don't know who that is.
She
Cassie
was
went.
on Making the
Uh,
Band. She's a choreographer.
oh, okay, got it. So I don't know
Yeah.
why I wrote that name down. Again, some of my notes. It's hard when you're in there. You're kind of writing, stuff down, thoughts. Cassie went from model to feisty girlfriend. Cassie has talent, but not talented, is what Capricorn Clark said. And I remember this was kind of playing into the narrative that Diddy gave her a 10 album contract, but that Capricorn was almost kind of saying, like, Cassie was talented, but she didn't really have that it factor.
Right. She wasn't
Um,
like Mariah or something like that, right? Wasn't that the
exactly
quote?
exactly what she said. She's not a performer. She's a performer and a singer. Cassie was more of they were saying like Mariah or performer and singers. Cassie was more of a studio artist. Um, less of a performer. Not like Mariah Carey, Whitney, Mariah Carey. They belted out the world. So let me see. Her drug use was preventing her from moving forward, is what she said. Um, Cassie got top tier talent to support her career. Do you think she deserved it? Objection. Were there other artists at Bad Boy getting less? She said yes. French Montana came in. He put in her hands in 2016. He wasn't over her shoulder, just supporting her on that. So Diddy kind of let her, them manage her career a little bit. She had epic record deal, MTV Awards. She dressed like David Bowie, official girl, wanting to be someone's official girl. The Hitman Puffs Beat Squad. She had her own voice with a look for MTV Awards. Diddy not controlling that. Kidnapping going, but you respond. Arranged conference call with Cassie. You're back conducting biz immediately after this kidnapping. Uh, you know. So, and then this is when she told Cassie to get a burner phone. But basically, what we're saying is like, you were just kidnapped, but you're still here working for Diddy.
Yeah.
That was the point with a lot, I believe, in the jury where they're like, this doesn't feel like a kidnapping.
Yeah, I think it really showed that, okay, well, he's this real bad guy, but you guys are still messing with him. Like, why are you still around? And I
Right.
think just for them, they didn't see like, okay, they were afraid for their lives. They didn't see it that way. They just seen like these people are probably clout chasers and just wanted to be around somebody famous with money.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have here, did you tell the government he did not? Oh, hold on. Did you tell the government that there was a security guard with Diddy when he came to the door with the hammer, which earlier we stated she didn't? You can't get into your building without security. So she was saying here that she had to have had a security guard from her building let Diddy in, correct? Diddy forced his way in with a pune. You need to let me in that building. Who was the security guard? He was fired. Do you remember? So that security guard allegedly was fired for letting Diddy in. Do you
Mm.
remember telling the government he pointed the pune at you? I never said that. Okay, let's take a look back. He pulls it up, and this is what Agnifilo, I'm going to get into the shade again. This is what Agnifilo would do when he would kind of catch somebody in a lie. They're like, all right, well, let me refresh your memory. Um, and did you tell the government he did not point the pune at me? He was waving it around. So these are a lot of the discrepancies, um, like we said, where she said he pointed it at her, but she didn't tell. She told the government he was waving it around. So
Hmm.
this is where they were able to kind of pick apart her story. Um, December 19th, Diddy was at an orphanage in Russia. Did you tell the government that there was a security guard with Diddy? Oh, sorry, I went back. You need to let me into that building. Who was security guard? He was fired. Yeah. Um, let's take a look back. He did not point the gun. Yeah. And they said you were kidnapped. She said I went so he wouldn't do anything stupid. Like go. She went because she didn't want him to unalive Kid Cudi.
Right.
Um, I went because he told me, you told him you didn't want to go, but you went anyway. You were concerned he would do something stupid. Not jealous, very bad temper. If he did something stupid, you would be out of a job. Is that, I did not want to go. How did Diddy get in Cuddy's
Mm.
door? Like we were saying earlier, and like I showed you, you could probably scale the wall. So in
Right.
my head was trying to figure out the next move. You don't know how they got through the door. You said Combs has a pune, 100%, 100%. Judge, are you going to ask that? The judge, Subramanian says, are you going to ask that again to Agnifilo? Did they acknowledge that he had a pune? He heard he's in my house. Were you in a three-way with Lara London? Oh, so this is crazy. He was
Mm.
on a three-way call at one point during all of this with Lauren London and her and Cassie. Nipsey Hussle's ex, or widow, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Why
and
did
we
you
know they
tell?
used to all be really close.
Okay, right. Yeah, because I remember seeing that one video recently where they're listening to the victory lap and Puff's like, don't clap. And Nipsey claps. He's like, I'll clap all I want, man. That's why I love Nipsey. Marathon
Mhm.
continues, by the way. Um, yep. She called Lara London right before she says it wasn't a three-way. So she can't really remember if she was on the phone, if she wasn't. She called Cassie. So you don't know if Cuddy is home. Why call her? Why not call Cuddy first? I just wanted someone to know where I was, she said. Lauren, I'm at Cuddy's. I'm scared. I just needed to talk to someone to get my head together. I talked to Lara London for a few seconds, it says. Called Lauren. Diddy. Maybe Lauren was on the phone. I don't remember. Lara London and Combs friends for years after this. I'm thinking now she might have been on the phone, is what Capricorn Clark says. So it's very confusing whether she remembers that.
Right.
Um, let's see. Then I'll just see. We're getting pretty close, I think, to wrapping some of this. First call you made was to Lara London. Second call to Cassie. Then the Porsche was coming up the hill, black Porsche. You hung up on the fire investigator. Never interviewed by the police. She emails him. Hopefully, you'll forgive me. To Diddy, sending you blessing and love for a new year. Hope to see you soon. Okay, that's what
Mm.
Capricorn Clark emailed Diddy after this whole incident. Further showing, like, why are you still trying to work with this guy who kidnapped you?
Right.
February 28th, 2015. Your grace period to be mad at me is over. This is her email to Diddy. Has long exceeded our agreement, trying to show she still reaches out to him. My hope for this year is for you to get over. She said, it's so complicated for me. I felt that I was a protector of Puff. I was really looking out for him. That email is me pleading, like, dude, let it go. So, dude, let it go that you kidnapped me and I was upset by it.
Right. Right.
What do you think about all this, AT2? This is crazy.
You know, it's kind of like a situation where for me, I would have been done, right?
Right.
But for her, I think she looked at it like, damn, if I don't still kind of give in or bend to this man,
Mhm.
he's going to ruin my career, which we do know. In fact, he did stop her from working other jobs and stuff like that. So he did blackball her basically.
Yeah.
And so with that, she already kind of knew what was coming and it did happen. So I totally get why somebody like her would still work for this man or still try to, appease him because at one point Diddy was untouchable and we kind of seen that this case exposed Diddy was untouchable. He could do no wrong. He can do whatever he wanted to and there was no accountability.
Right.
You better not tell the cops.
Right.
Like
He could probably go on the Ellen show the next morning after doing something allegedly like this, you know?
he probably did go on the Ellen show.
Right. I have that she was crying this whole time. I was the only one gone and she was still there. My job was to move the ball towards the goal and let people know they could be great and successful. She's crying and apologizing. It hurt because he only took me back because of Cassie. No parents. Her son is nonverbal. So this also shows you why Capricorn Clark was so tied to Diddy almost as a father figure. She has this special needs son. She had no parents to help her out. So being thrown out of his life is like, again, he was paying all the bills.
Right. She needed the money to be able to take care of her son. She's the only
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, June 1st, 2021, he gave her a reference letter for a job she had asked him for, asking for a letter of recommendation for a job. I wanted to work in the music biz again. You wanted to be his chief of staff. She brought it up a year ago. She's crying. Diddy could keep you out of the biz. Settlement agreement was that he would write her a letter for a job rec. So I guess in whatever their settlement,
Oh.
but an interview at Interscope, he said, you need to leave this Diddy stuff alone. It won't end well for you. So this just shows how she was blackballed. She went to Interscope after all this, had an interview, and I don't know if it was Jimmy Iovine or who it was. But basically at Interscope, they're like, our hands are tied. We can't work with you, so you should leave this Diddy stuff alone. Andre Harrell and Puff showed up when she was looking for employment. They were there to talk them out of hiring her. I took work with Sean, so I was valuable. He held all the power as it related to me.
Ding 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 ding.
I just wanted to work and support my son. You offered to assist with Diddy Biz. Why would you do that? I was upset with the Cassie document. Why did you not call the police? If police found out, we would all be hurt. You told Cassie to leave. She said, and this is when Cassie said, well, I can't leave because Jay-Z is taken. Who else is there?
Right.
Yeah. And then I just they were trying to get Diddy more phone minutes because they didn't have enough time to talk with him after the trial. And that was basically where we left off with Capricorn's testimony. I wish I could do better. I can see if I can kind of go into, if I can answer any comments. Let me look if I can do this, if it's not going to mess with it too much. Let me go into the shade just in case there are. Hold on. That's comments. Let's see. Okay, we have a lot. The Londons are very influential too. Oh wow, we have a lot of interaction here. Good afternoon, LOL.
Hey
Yeah,
now,
I
is this new
can't
or just
see him.
revisited? This is new. Nope. Laud, we on location. Who is Kid Curtis? Kid Cudi. They said, hey, at AT2, I can care less but about consensual, the actual crimes. As a woman, men are freaky weirdos. Okay, cool. I forgot I can show it on here. So let me
Oh, okay. Hello,
do this.
everybody.
Hold on. Let me
I had to
take our
pull up my
lower.
phone because I can't see it.
Yeah, sorry. Let me take my lower thirds down and I'll start posting some of the comments. This is cool.
Okay.
Give them a multi-billion-dollar bucks. They'll be ultimate weirdo. Okay, whatever. Interesting. Cassie had the industry it factor. She was marketable and could sell records. Okay. She
Mm.
was not Whitney.
She had a look. That's what Rye is saying. Basically, she had a
Yeah, she
look.
was beautiful. I mean, she really was. Let me see. I'm just gonna
She
do this.
still is, actually.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
let's be
gorgeous.
clear. She still is,
Let's be super clear, right?
Yeah, let's be clear.
Let's be clear. I'm just gonna put her in the little bubble so we can read some of this. This is great. I haven't done the commentaries yet.
Oh, I'm clipping that, by the way. I am
Oh, you are?
clipping that.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of good stuff. With the Diddy case, we unfolded the possibility of, and other crimes these wealthy people can engage in freely. Yep. These black celebs engage in possible stuff would surprise me about anything. Yeah, but white celebrities, rock bands in the 70s have been indulging in craziest,
Oh,
Lord, I mean, makes these, the white rock stars created all this debauchery. I'll just
right.
say
And
that.
you know what? I hate to say this just because it's bad timing, but I
No.
remember I had did a video on Sharon Osbourne and she was like, "Oh, I don't know." They were talking about Diddy. This was before the trial, and she was like, "Oh, I know nothing about that lifestyle." And then her son Jack called her out, and he was like, "No, yes, you do. You've been
Right.
around these kind of people. Like you know how it is." And so it's
Hey,
just funny
Aloha.
how like she was trying to pretend not to know.
Exact. When her husband created it. I mean, Ozzy Osbourne famously got off a tour bus and snorted ants. Literally. Um, yeah. Hey to Aloha, how are you? Unfortunately, men do this. Yep. Cassie had standards. Men get rich and get beautiful women. Yeah, that is facts. Anybody have any questions before we get out of here? But thanks again, AT2, like having you on here. This has been freaking awesome. I'm really excited
Yeah,
about this
this has
case.
been very interesting. Like knowing everything that has happened and being able to see like where exactly it went down. It's very eye opening.
Yeah, right. I mean, for me, it really is too, because like I said, it's just there's not much room where that SUV where she was held. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my camera. Sam, get out of the way. Um, where it's just like it's just so close to where all this was going on. It's just, and like I said,
Mhm.
I'm at a 35-degree angle. I mean, you can see, if I try to run up this hill, it's not easy. So Kid Cudi
Yeah,
flying up this hill. I hope
I'm
everybody
already out of
appreciates
breath
that.
when you started running. I was like,
I'm
damn,
just
that's not
saying,
even me running.
I'm out of breath now. I hope everybody appreciates this live because I'm getting a workout in here.
But you remember
Um,
when you said the Diddy Jam? When I was talking about how narrow the roads are in the
right.
Hollywood Hills and how to
Yeah.
maneuver, it's very hard to like try to speed and stuff like that. I get car sickness being up there. Like
Yes.
it,
Oh, it's like
yeah.
the road to Hana in Hawaii, if anybody knows that. It's like you get super,
Mm.
super dizzy. So AT2, let everybody, you got any last final thoughts before we get out of here?
You know, after going through everything that you discussed, like after reading your notes, they definitely charged this man incorrectly because I feel like now we're getting into a discussion about like him possibly being a good person or innocent. And it's all like he may not have been guilty of, the crimes that he was charged with, but he's not a good person. So
Right.
that's why I don't feel bad for him at all. It's kind of like, well, you
No.
were never a good person. Like you have done a lot of shitty things to people, and this is what you get basically. Now, are you being charged correctly?
Right.
No. But
Right.
do you deserve mercy? Not really.
Right. Right.
No, not really. I mean, and like you said, I think it's just karma. You know, I always say, do unto others as you want done to yourself. And then
Hmm.
the rest is pretty easy from there, you know? Pretty
I agree.
self-explanatory. Well, dude, AT2, I love you, man. This was so awesome having you on.
Yes.
And I'm down whenever you have time. And sorry too, I was kind of mostly talking the whole time, doing my notes. So I
No,
apologize you
it's
didn't get
fine.
to, chime in, but I really appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah, and thank you for inviting me. I really appreciated that, doing this show with you and being able to actually talk about it at the location it happened. So,
Yeah.
again, thank you.
Yeah, and I'd like to maybe I was thinking about going to like where Biggie was shot or other locations of interest. So if you have any ideas, let me know and I'll pull up to them and then we can kind of go live from there.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
if the chat has any suggestions, please put it in the comment section. Definitely let us know.
I was just gonna say, yeah, if you want me to go somewhere, let me know. So this was awesome, man. I really appreciate you. Oh, and did I? Yeah, I have the right. They're good. All right, man. And I will talk to you soon, my friend. Take care. Oh, yep. Oh, there he is. All right, guys, we're still here. Again, thank you guys. Make sure you sub to my YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Everything is at Secret Service Sam, as you can see below. And I love you guys. Love what you've done for my life, allowing me to do this excellent content for you. Please suggest future locations you'd like me to go live from. Love you guys. Secret Service Sam out. Samson for president of the world. Secret Service Sam, the podcast, and Secret Service Sam.